Today we're going to study this iconic scene from Smiling Friends, in which Charlie and Pim talk to each other in Spanish. First, we're going to watch this scene with subtitles, then we'll break each section and study some important concepts. Finally, we'll watch the clip again without subtitles, and by then you'll see how much you understand. Remember, if you need more help with vocabulary, make sure to download our flashcards for free.
Pim, hablemos así para que él no pueda entendernos.
Bien pensado, Charlie Latino.
El problema de este tipo obviamente es con su hermano, no el crear un homúnculo de un huevo.
Eso digo. ¿Qué tal si trato de convencer a su hermano de no sacar al profesor psicótico?
Perfecto, y yo trataré de hacer que olvide el asunto del huevo.
Eso, convenido.
Pim, hablemos así para que él no pueda entendernos.
Pim, hablemos así para que él no pueda entendernos. Hablemos comes from the verb hablar, to talk, but in this case it is used in the subjunctive mood, which is generally used to express a simple suggestion to act on something. In Spanish, when we have a verb with the suffix hemos added at the end, it is generally in the subjunctive mood. So for example, hablemos in this case can be translated as let's talk. Another example for let's take the word jugar, to play. If we add the suffix hemos, we get juguemos, which means let's play. Another example, this time with the verb bailar, to dance. If we add the suffix hemos at the end, we get bailemos, which means let's dance. Try to remember this. When you see a verb with the suffix hemos, just interpret it as a suggestion. If you need some extra help with the subjunctive mood, we also have an interactive study guide and workbook for many more concepts. Just visit learn.speakspanish.tv.
Pim, hablemos así para que él no pueda entendernos.
Entendernos comes from the verb entender, to understand. In this case, we don't want the scientists to understand us, so the us is translated as nosotros. But in Spanish, both words, understand and us, merge together in one word. So instead of saying entender nosotros, we say entendernos, to understand us.
Bien pensado, Charlie Latino.
Bien pensado, Charlie Latino. Bien pensado. Bien can be translated as well, and pensado means thought. So, bien pensado is a pretty common phrase you can find on TV, and it simply means well thought.
El problema de este tipo obviamente es con su hermano.
El problema de este tipo es obviamente con su hermano. Obviamente. Obviamente comes from the word obvio, which means obvious. The suffix mente is used in Spanish to form adverbs, similar to the English le. The basic definition of obviamente is obviously.
El problema de este tipo obviamente es con su hermano.
Hermano means brother. Quite simple, right? And just in case, we have an special interactive flashcard for you to study family members' vocabulary. You can find those and more at learn.speakspanish.tv.
No el crear un homúnculo de un huevo.
No el crear un homúnculo de un huevo. No el crear. Crear means to create. Simple enough, but the whole phrase might be a bit confusing for some students. Remember, by putting the article el, de, before the verb, we are transforming the verb into a noun. So here, Charlie is saying that the scientist's problem is not the act of creating the homunculus, but something else.
Eso digo.
Eso digo. Eso digo is a not so common way of expressing approval. It can be interpreted as that's what I'm saying. Eso means that, and digo means I say.
¿Qué tal si trato de convencer a su hermano de no sacar al profesor psicótico?
¿Qué tal si intento convencer a su hermano de no sacar al profesor psicótico? ¿Qué tal si? ¿Qué tal si is a very common question that is translated directly to what if. ¿Qué means what and si means if. On the other hand, tal is the example we use to complement the phrase, and the word tal, in this example, it is used to complement the question. We have to remember that in Spanish, sometimes we use complementary words just to make the phrase, in this case, a question, sound much better. And tal doesn't have a direct translation to English. Once you practice more Spanish, you'll understand why that is. And it's actually very simple. It's because if we don't use the word tal, it simply sounds very weird. Que sí sounds so much weirder than saying ¿Qué tal si? It just doesn't make sense. And that's why we say ¿qué tal si? The phrase is more complete and people will understand what you're trying to say.
Perfecto, y yo trataré de hacer que olvide el asunto del huevo.
Perfecto, y yo trataré de hacer que olvide el asunto del huevo. Yo trataré. Trataré means I will try. It comes from the verb tratar, to try. Tratar is a regular verb that ends with AR, so it conjugates to the future like most words that end with AR do. Yo trataré, tú tratarás, él, ella tratarán, ellos tratarán, ustedes tratarán, nosotros trataremos. You can find the complete conjugation of every verb said in the episode in our flashcards. You can find the link in the bio.
Eso, convenido.
Eso, convenido. Eso means it, but in this case, eso is translated as that. The word convenido comes from the verb convenir, which means to agree or to be suitable. Eso, convenido, is a pretty uncommon way of agreeing with something. In this case, Pim is completely agreeing with Charlie, and that's why he say eso, convenido.
Pim, hablemos así para que él no pueda entendernos.
Bien pensado, Charlie Latino.
El problema de este tipo obviamente es con su hermano, no el crear un homúnculo de un huevo.
Eso digo. ¿Qué tal si trato de convencer a su hermano de no sacar al profesor psicótico?
Perfecto, y yo trataré de hacer que olvide el asunto del huevo.
Eso, convenido.
Thank you for watching, and remember, if you didn't get a concept right away, please don't worry about it. It is supposed to take some time, but the great part about learning Spanish watching TV is that the more you watch and the more you study, the faster you'll learn. Believe me, this is the fastest method there is.